right? They don't miss with early picks. Each of their last 9 picks they've made in the first 2 rounds, dating back to second-round pick Jalen Hurts in 2020, they all started in Super Bowl 59. I mean, that's just remarkable. Eagles GM Howie Roseman spoke Tuesday about Philly's approach into this year's draft.
Where we are right now, we have a lot of good players that have earned their paychecks. We have others coming up through that will be in position to earn paychecks. And so we want to get as many young, talented players on this roster as we can to add competition, which is one of Coach's core values, and also because of the financial situation that we're going to have going forward in our effort to try to win another championship for the city.
DJ, the Eagles picking at 32, of course. What should they be looking to do at that spot in the draft?
Well, you put your feet up on the desk and you wait for an unbelievably great player to just fall in your lap, because that's the way the draft works every year. Those are the rules, Laura. I don't make them, but that's just the way that it goes down. So they can be patient. They lost some key pieces in free agency, so they could go in a couple different spots. Now, I look at a guy, like Tyler Booker, if he were to fall down because he didn't have a great workout, is that someone who could be in range for them? Obviously, they're going to have all the information coming out of that program. They love players out of Georgia. They love players out of Alabama. So that's one option from the Crimson Tide. And then Jihad Campbell, who I think is one of the top 15 players in the draft, but he's not entering into this part of the process healthy. And maybe he slides a little bit. But never in a million years did I wake up thinking that Nolan Smith would fall into their lap, yet he did. I never would have thought they could have got Cooper DeJean in the second round, yet they did. So they can just sit back, be patient, and let the draft fall to them.
Yeah, I mean, that is the benefit of being where they are. And really, they have a comfort level sitting where they're sitting in regards to feeling as though they can identify the type of people that they want down there. And you're right, DJ. I mean, usually every year someone falls down there that you're sitting there scratching your head going, how did this happen? My bet would be, look, they continue to build on the kind of things that they have always hung their hat on, which is namely offensive and defensive line play, maximum pass rush pressure, and obviously trying to dominate the line of scrimmage on the offensive side of the ball. You figure, you wonder, will James Pierce last that long? Will James Pierce and some of the issues that are surrounding him cause him to drop down there to the bottom of the first round? Which for me, I mean, that would be like a Nolan Smith head scratcher type of scenario. This guy to me is like a mini Javon Kearse. And I'm telling you, you see him in Eagle Green, you're going to be sitting there going, how the hell did this happen again? Donovan Ezeraku from Boston College, who I got to see live multiple times and talk to multiple times. Think about Donovan Ezeraku in this Eagles defense playing on, again, those are the kind of things that are going to wind up happening for Philadelphia when they're on the clock. And you're going to sit there going, this doesn't quite seem fair that this happens all the time.
Well, first of all, listen, one thing history has taught me is to never trust that Howie Roseman is patient, okay? And they very well may be at this 32nd pick. But if there's a player they absolutely want, I would not be surprised if he tried to maneuver and make some moves in this draft. But ultimately, you guys have hit the nail on the head. If Jihad Campbell is there, it's a no-brainer for me. Multiple positions. He dropped in coverage. He comes off the edge. A middle linebacker guy that you could pair with Nakobe Dean. I know they just extended Zach Bond as well in Philly, but this feels like a Vic Fangio guy to me. But also that defensive tackle spot. You lose Milton Williams in free agency to the New England Patriots, and we know, like you mentioned, Lewis, that they like to have multiple waves of pass rushers. They like to mix and match guys. Jordan Davis can give you some rush and push of the pocket. We already know what Jalen Carter is probably going to ascend to. Could arguably be the #1 guy in the league this year when it's all said and done from the D tackle spot. I think this is a bolster your roster with depth move. Obviously, they had a lot of things transpire this offseason, wasn't able to keep everybody, but Howie has figured out a way to either maneuver in the draft to get that specific player they want, or like both of you guys said, sit at 32 and they get another player to piss me off that's going to be hell against Dallas.
I was waiting for it. You were being so professional there, Swagoo, and then it just came out in the end. I like it. By the way, the Eagles
had to get that out first.
Yeah, get it off your chest. The Eagles have drafted a Pro Bowler each year from 2018 to 2023. There's so many different ways to look at the prowess of Howie Roseman, but I loved that note. All right, new on NFL Live, our very own
Unstoppable. Hey, hey, hey. unstoppable. Whoa, hey, ready. Yeah, I'm unstoppable.
What separates me from everybody is the way I approach it, the mindset that I have going into the field each and every game.
He is the best innovator of any quarterback in this class.
If you ain't trying to change the franchise or the coaches, don't get me, because I did it year after year after year.
The most underappreciated superstar I've seen come out of the collegiate ranks.
Hearing that Jackson Dart's going to go late first round, that buzz is out there.
I'm the ultimate competitor. I feel like I can do whatever it takes for the team to win.
Tyler Sharpe is the one. This cat can throw the rock.
I think I'm the best quarterback in this class.
That's an NFL arm right there.
Who do I like better?
Welcome to NFL Live, an action-packed show in store for you today. Louis Riddick, Marcus Spears, Booger McFarland joins us later, and as you may be noticing, a special guest is with us today. Daniel Jeremiah hopping on to be with us as part of the ESPN NFL Network Draft Crossover Week. We've got a lot to get to. DJ, so glad to have you on the show. It's a real treat to have you here.
Yeah, it's an annual tradition. Always look forward to it.
Us too, okay? One of the biggest questions going into next week's draft is who will the Giants take at pick number 3? They're taking a deep look at multiple quarterbacks this week in private workouts. Here's GM Joe Shane earlier today.
With the signing of those two players, I think we put ourselves in a position where, I don't think that's mandatory or something that we're, our feet to the fire and we have to do. They've got a lot of skins on the wall, and I do think we've upgraded that room, compared to where it was a year ago. I like the two guys that we have, and we'll be open to all options. I mean, those type of strategy sessions have been ongoing, and talking through different scenarios. So yeah, we're always going to be open to either or of those scenarios. We've received some calls. Yeah, we've received some calls.
Interesting if they would trade. I doubt it. But again, a reminder that they're working out this week. Tyler Shook, Jalen Milroe, and of course, Shedeur Sanders. But Swagger, with all the signs of indecision in New York, what do you think they should do at pick number 3?
Yeah, go with the best player. If you're not sold on these quarterbacks, and that's, Travis Hunter would be wonderful there, but Abdul Carter would be wonderful as well across from Brian Burns. This is simple to me for the New York Giants. If you don't like a quarterback, take one of those two players. If you don't want one of those two players, trade out of the position and get more picks so you can build more of this team. But to me, it would be a no-brainer. Whichever is left out of Travis Hunter and Abdul Carter, you enhance the pass rush, or you get who I think is a generational player in Travis Hunter that can help you on both sides of the ball, even though I don't think it would be for the full game. I know Travis Hunter has made a lot of noise about going both ways. I think you can manage that with him, with the talent that he has. This dude is a top 5 overall talent at wide receiver and defensive back in any draft. So I think a team has a lot to think about if they take him. But Abdul Carter bolstering that pass rush, especially with what's happening in the NFC East with those quarterbacks, that may be the route to go.
Yes, Mike, I think it will be one of those two players depending upon who falls to them at 3, depending upon obviously what Cleveland does at 2. And I think the other thing that they're trying to do right now is they're just trying to get this quarterback stacking right. They want to make sure that they're prepared for all scenarios and really have a game plan depending upon how the draft really shakes out. Later on throughout the top 10 picks, namely what does New Orleans do at 9, what does Pittsburgh do at 21, and then what do they need to do in order to get in position to get one of